everyone and happy Women's Day. You might have heard several theories about how Daenerys might become evil, or that she will be the one to become like the Mad King because of the Targaryen blood. It's always said in the series that being a Targaryen is only a toss of a coin. You can either become a great ruler or you can become crazy and cruel like the Mad King, Maegor the Cruel, etc. But I have a different theory for this. If someone is going to become crazy and cruel, what if it's the other Targaryen? Just hear me out. You might change your mind after watching it. But before we get to that, I just wanted to tell you a couple of things. If you've been with our channel since last year, you might remember how I used to announce the top 3 comments in my season 6 trailer reviews. Well, from now on, once again I'll give a shout out to one comment at the end of each video. I'll also post the first official season 7 teaser poster in the end of this video. Another thing I wanted to tell you about was the Game of Thrones research project. Have you heard about it? They are a team of 40 researchers from 12 different countries. I love taking the survey. More than 6,000 people have already taken it, which is really cool. By the way, is it crazy that every time they ask something like, how important Game of Thrones is in your life? Every single time I answered, extremely. And my favorite character is Arya Stark. Who's yours? Anyways, make sure to take the survey before it closes, share it around, and let me know what you think about it in the comments. I'll post the link to the survey in the descriptions below. Now back to our current story. Ever since the beginning of the series, we have seen that Jon is an honorable man. He has always done the right thing. When Mr. Aemon had asked Jon what would Ned Stark do if he ever had to choose between honor and love, and Jon has said he would do whatever is right, no matter what. But we know that was not true. When Ned found out about Jon, his duty was to tell his king about his betrothed son, but he chose love over honor and lied to his king. Later, when Varys gave him an option to save Sansa's life, once again he chose love over honor by lying to the realm and confessing to be a traitor. But when Jon had to choose between love and honor, he chose honor over love. I know all this makes you think that Jon becoming evil is impossible, but that was before his dying and coming back to life. I'll give you 2 examples where people died and came back, and they became cruel and evil after that. I know it's a bit tinfoil and might not even happen in the show, but if it did, it would be a pretty great twist. You've probably guessed by now that one of them is Lady Stoneheart. She is the living, or rather unliving example of this. In the books, 3 days after the Red Wedding, Arya finds Catelyn's body in a river through her warg bond with Nymeria. She drags her to the shore and tries to wake her before realizing that she is dead. She flees when she sees men approaching. Lord Beric Dondarrion resurrects Catelyn by giving his life for hers through the last kiss. The last kiss is a rite practiced by the Red Priests of R'hllor. When a follower of the Lord of Light dies, the priests fill their mouths with fire and breathe flame into the deceased, as they believe the fire cleanses. But when Soros did that to Beric Dondarrion, he was resurrected. Later on, Beric gave his life to bring back Catelyn Tully. But ever since she came back, she is not the same person she was before she died. Death has changed Catelyn. She used to be a loving and caring person. She used to give good counsel to Robb and Ned when they needed it, and she saved Brienne too. But after her resurrection, she is less gracious and forgiving than she was in life. She is consumed by the desire for vengeance and will kill anyone who she thinks has betrayed her and her son Robb. It doesn't even matter if they had anything to do with the Red Wedding or not, or if they are young boys. She does not listen to reason. When she accepted Brienne's vows, she has vowed that she will ask no service of her that will bring her dishonor.
Then I am yours, my lady. I will shield your back and give my life for yours if it comes to that. I swear it by the old gods and the new.
I vow that you shall always have a place in my home and at my table, and that I shall ask no service of you that might bring you dishonor. I swear it by the old gods and the new.
But Lady Stoneheart asks Brienne to kill Jaime, and when Brienne refuses to do it, claiming that Jaime has changed, She almost hangs her and Pod to death until Brienne cries out a word. I think Brienne might die fighting Jaime because he will never choose Brienne over Cersei. You can see how Catelyn Stark, a kind, gentle person, was turned into a cruel person after her resurrection. Now you might be wondering who the second person is. Even though it's not clearly stated in the books, I think it's Maegor the First. He was the son of Aegon the Conqueror and his sister wife Visenya Targaryen. Maegor had worked as the hand of the king for 2 years for his brother Aenys before being exiled for taking a second wife. During this period, he didn't show any cruelty. For example, he didn't like to torture animals like Joffrey did. Maegor was exiled for taking a second wife and was sent to Pentos. After his brother's death, Dowager Queen Visenya brought back Maegor and crowned him king in 42 AC. I'll admit he was not a nice person before his death. He beheaded Grandmaster Gavin for suggesting that Aenys' son Aegon should be crowned. Chief among Maegor's foes were the Faith Militant, the Orders of the Warriors' Sons, and the Poor Fellows. Visenya challenged any who denied Maegor's right to rule to prove themselves. This challenge was accepted by the captain of the warriors' sons. He challenged Maegor for a trial of the 7. Maegor accepted this challenge. He and his 6 champions had to fight 7 warriors' sons. In the end, King Maegor was the only one left alive, but he took a grievous blow to the head and fell senseless to the ground. For 27 days, Maegor was dead to the world. On the 28th, Queen Alice arrived from Pentos with her woman, Tyanna of the Tower. Visenya gave the king over to her care alone. She was said to have practiced sorcery and alchemy. On the 30th day, the king awoke with the sunrise. He was in a coma for 29 days, and Tyanna was able to wake him up in just 1 day. I don't know, it seems suspicious to me. That's where my crazy theory comes in. I think King Maegor died in his coma and Tyanna of the Tower brought him back. Maegor was never a nice person to begin with, but he didn't truly become cruel and evil until after waking up from his coma, or after being resurrected. After waking up, he mounted Balerion, flew over to the Sept of Remembrance, and unleashed the Black Rat's flames, which consumed the Sept and all within in dragon flame. The screams of the burning and dying men were said to echo throughout the city. At the battle at Stonebridge, the poor fellows fell in droves, and it is said that the Mander ran red with blood for 20 leagues. The construction of the Red Keep, which started in Aegon's reign, was completed in Maegor's. Maegor was the one who commanded secret tunnels and passages be made into the castle. When the keep was completed, the king threw a riotous feast for the masons and carvers and other craftsmen who had helped construct the castle and put them all to the sword to keep the secrets of the Red Keep to himself. As you can see, his reign was horrible. He became so cruel and evil that even now he is called Maegor the Cruel. I know what you are thinking right now. If death changes people, then why Lord Beric wasn't turned evil? I have a theory for that too. I think the time for how long a person is dead affects how much they will change after the resurrection. I'll read a couple of lines from the books. Every man of us was certain that his lordship would be dead by daybreak, but sorrows prayed with him all night beside the fire. And when dawn came, he was still alive and stronger than he had been. Beric was probably dead for barely a minute before being resurrected. That's why he shows the least change. He had been resurrected 6 times before he gave his life to save Catelyn. Every time he was resurrected, he came back with fewer memories of his life before the War of the 5 Kings. Catelyn was dead for 3 days before being resurrected. She was a little more cruel than Beric. She hanged innocent people just for being connected to a Frey or a Lannister. The old cat would never have done such a thing. Maegor was dead for the longest period, although it's hard to say for how long, but because of this, he was the cruelest and most evil of them all. I also noticed that once they are resurrected, they seem to be focused on the cause of their deaths. Lady Stoneheart was fixated on killing Freys and Lannisters or anyone associated with them. Lord Barrick's main focus was the mountain and the Lannisters. Maegor was cruel in general, but most of his cruelty was focused on the Faith militant. Let's come back to Jon Snow. In the end of season 5, Jon was stabbed by Sir Alistair Thorne and 5 other men of the Night's Watch while a few others just watched. He was probably dead for 2 days, and then in season 6, he was resurrected by Melisandre. But so far, we haven't seen any major change in Jon. He killed only 4 of the 6 traitors and then he left the Night's Watch. Judging by the pattern of the other 3 resurrections, he should have tried to find the rest of the traitors and kill them. Even Beric couldn't let go of this impulse and he was dead for probably seconds. Jon just left the Night's Watch to go fight Ramsay, something he didn't even want to do in the first place. There are 2 options here. Either the show will skip this entirely, just like the Lady Stoneheart storyline, or he will become cruel in a different sort of way. Right now, he doesn't seem to hold grudge against anyone. But what about once he finds out his real parentage? When he will think back on what his life could have been, he will definitely be a little upset. And if he is even half the way like Lady Stoneheart, then we don't know how he will react. The only reason for Dany going crazy theory was that she had Targaryen blood and that she has seemed ruthless from time to time. But with Jon, there are 3 reasons for why it could happen. A. Jon also has the Targaryen blood. B. He can be ruthless too. And C. He was resurrected. And judging by the pattern shown by other resurrected people, he should be showing changes and becoming more and more cruel. We have to keep in mind that we knew the old Jon. We don't know how different the new Jon will be. How different do you think Jon will be? Or do you think the show will skip this one too? Don't forget to tell us your thoughts in the comments. So, it's time for the comment of the week. Suze Morset said, "Best theory I've heard in a long time. I'm liking this." Thank you, Suze. It means a lot to me. And here is the official Season 7 teaser poster. It's obvious by the poster that Season 7 will focus more on ice and fire. What do you think this poster means? Anyways, what do you think of these theories? Don't forget to tell us in the comments. If you like this video, please click on the like button below, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye bye. See you in my next video.